Contemporary sources of Alexander the Great. If you're a couch historian like me, it's crucial to identify and read primary sources as they come, such as eyewitnesses about your subject. When studying most facets of the ancient world, primary contemporary sources can often be lost in time. Now, rather than reject the premise of a secondhand source entirely, we must first identify the origin of the secondhand source and its parallel or deviation to the primary source. If you study ancient Macedonia like me, you are somewhat lucky. There are many eyewitness sources regarding Alexander the Great that are contemporaneous with his life from 356 to 323. Unfortunately, many of these works are now lost. Callisthenes of Olynthos was a relative of Aristotle's who tutored Alexander in Macedonia in the late 340s. Eumenes of Cardia was Alexander's personal secretary and was responsible for keeping his journals, also called the Ephemerides or royal journals. Chares of Mytilene was a courtier of Alexander's and privy to much gossip. Nearchos was a Greek man educated alongside Alexander by Aristotle, who later became an admiral for Alexander. Now, Nearchos' voyages themselves are interesting and famous for his exploration of the Indian Ocean and the Persian Gulf, which I may make a side video about in the future. Now, two main eyewitness writers which we can gather the most information from is Ptolemy and Aristobulus. Ptolemy Soter was born in 367 BC and was educated by Aristotle in Mieza. In 336 BC, he joined the king's bodyguard and took part in the campaigns of Alexander. He wrote a history of Alexander's campaigns, which is now lost to time. Aristobulus was Greek by origin and was an ancient Greek designer. He was called an architect or engineer during his time. He was ordered by Alexander in 324 to spearhead the restoration of Cyrus the Great's tomb, which at the time was desecrated. While he was an eyewitness writer, he did have one major flaw, and this was that he was called a flatterer. Mostly because he would embellish the feats of Alexander while minimizing all of his weaknesses. All of these contemporary sources are lost to time. As G.T. Griffith said it, it is one of the great paradoxes of history and of historiography that this king should have been handed down finally in history as an enigma. The sources that survive are in fragmentary form or not at all. Arrian of Nicomedia, a Greek historian born 86 AD and died 160 AD, had access to the eyewitness sources. By referencing both sources along with others previously mentioned, he had also wrote disclaimers while himself concurring with the most plausible accounts, while staying clear of embellishments, which was an impressive feat for a first century adaptation. His series of books, The Anabasis of Alexander, is widely considered the best source on the campaigns of Alexander the Great. As such, I do recommend the landmark Arrian, The Campaigns of Alexander by James Romm, which is a modern translation of The Anabasis of Alexander, with footnotes and reference maps and illustrations. It is a very great read and I have personally enjoyed this translation. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Feel free to leave a comment, or if you have any suggestions on other engaging topics or dialogue, just let me know.